Hey, Mr. JT. Oh man, it's bright up out here. I'm tired, man. I'm looking rough, I know. Yo, we had crazy storms up here over the weekend, man. And been helping storm clean up. Just got back from the dump. It's like our fourth, fifth load in the neighborhood, just helping people out, man. I am tired. And man, if I look like I ain't right, I ain't right, but in the spirit, I'm definitely on point, man. I needed to ask you this. Oh, your message is super great, man. Great. And I wanted to piggyback off what you said and see what you thought about the system of the beast, man. I know me and two of my bros, we were having Bible study, and they were forgetting their Bibles. I'm like, yo, you going to a war without your sword? What is that? And they like, hey, we got phones. You know, they pull up the app on the phone. And I'm like, bro, you need something that you can feel as far as the word, the pages or whatever. But more importantly, that word is, it needs to be in us. Like we were talking about last night, or the other night, you know, as far as you can't walk around with an unloaded gun, you know, and get ready to load your gun to take the shot. You need to already have one in the chamber as far as what is how we need to be reinforcing the spirit for these times that we're going through. Because one thing that I failed to mention last night on the live, and I was so caught up in what the spirit was having me do, was that Revelations 14:12. It wasn't about everything that was, you know, below it. It was everything about that led up to Revelations 14:12. You start at Revelations 14:1, and that ending where it says, "This is the faith and patience of the saints," is everything that we had to endure up until that. Like, we're going to take losses. There's going to be calling it a setback in the worldly sense. It just doesn't do it any justice. People are going to lose their lives, like you said. People are going to be thrown in jail. And get back to what I was telling my buddies. I was like, hey, what makes you think that going forward, the system of the beast, the beast, the system, isn't going to, like, you're not going to. The system of the beast ain't. I mean, it's a full system. The old ways have to go in, and then the new ways have to, you know, to make way for the new. So what makes you think that one day when you log on to your little Bible app, which is very good, by the way, right now. I mean, it's good. But what makes you think that you're gonna log on there one day and it's just gone? It's gone. You think the beast? He's coming from the small to the big, like from the nitty gritty to the big. We know pettiness. You know what the enemy is, the ultimate petty. He's the petty officer of all times. And you think he's gonna allow remnants of God's law, his original laws, his original word, and anything that deals with his adversary, Jesus? You think he's going to allow any of that on the internet? You think God's word is still going to be able to be? We know the beast system is a part. The beast system is going to, from the smallest to the greatest. What makes you think? You know, we know corruption corrupts absolutely. We know evil is it doesn't skip this house and go to the next. You know. It doesn't give any type of any type of let up. It goes. It's a speeding train with no sense of stopping, you know. And we need the word in here. We need the word in here. Definitely need that word in here, man. Because it's gonna come to a point where, hey, you think they're they're always talking about gun confiscation, things like that. Or you think it ain't gonna be Bibles confiscated? You think it ain't gonna be? You log onto that blue letter Bible and it says 500 internal service error, and then please revert to whatever, or it's no longer. I mean, it's gonna be. Man, that means we need to have it in here. We need to have it in here and then up here to be able to revert back. Just like the food that will be denied in the physical, we're going to be denied that food in the spiritual, but we should already have it there. We should already have that shot loaded up. You know, it's like having a gun with no bullets. You know, it says that, hey, we're supposed to go back to that Psalms 91 in the shadow of the Almighty. In the shadow of the Almighty, we're supposed to be there with Him, and He's with us. And if we ain't got it, we're not gonna be allowed to get it in those times. Jesus says He's gonna pour out His Spirit, on all flesh. I've got my own interpretation on what I felt my spirit for a long time, what that means. But there's going to be a time. What is it? Seek the Lord while he can be found. Seek Him, because there's going to be a time to where we're going to look, and if we ain't found Him already, it's going to be scarce. It ain't going to be the analytics and data. What is it? Man, I'm drawing a blank. What is it? The algorithms on Google. They're going to be like, yep. You type in Jesus, it's going to automatically come up the name of the beast or something like that. They do that now on a low level with just advertising or censorship. And so it's like there's going to be a time to where, all those Bibles are going to be outlawed, subject by death. I feel that in the spirit, bro. I feel it. We're going to be logging on to these apps. Like I told my buddy, I said, hey, you need to be able to have your sword in the physical, but definitely it's sharpening your sword in the spirit, because there's going to be a day to where that Bible app is going to be gone. That Bible, they're going to come to door. They're going to come door to door for Bibles and stuff like that. I'm a huge fan of history. If you don't know where you've been, you won't know where you're going. I'm of the firm inclination and belief that the spirit of the Antichrist is, as I'm sure you know, has resided in a few different vessels over the times. The last most notable one, who was able to do what the Antichrist in Revelations is going to do on a small scale, was Hitler. And Hitler, there was book burnings, there were huge paradigm shifts in what was allotted for what was deemed in line with his agenda and not in line with his agenda. There was social conditioning. Everything was reverted to this in school. There were burnings of literature, books. I'm talking like in the sense to where even after he was gone, Germany getting reverted back to the worldly way of getting in line with everybody else. It took a long time, because Hitler, it was on like par with, like, if you've ever heard of the burning of a Library of Alexandria. Things were lost. A lot of things were lost in physical translation and spiritual translation. So you figure that spirit of the Antichrist was definitely manifesting in him. We know nothing new is under the sun. You figure that was like a little dry run, and that dry run costed millions of lives. And that was just on what we consider a small scale compared to what it said that the Antichrist will do when he comes, into it comes full circle, full fruition. I wanted to know what you thought about that. Has it ever quickened, or has the Lord ever said anything to you about that, or what do you think? We may get a knock at the door, be like, hey, where's your King James? You got a King James, you got an NIV, you got we heard you got a subscription to this, as far as this app for the Bible, whatever, because that's all log, that's all a matter of record. It's like we're gonna need it in us. They can't take what's in us. They can certainly try to hold us accountable. I'm sure they will hold us accountable. They will. The persecuted, being persecuted right now, man. Us in the U.S., it's so short-sighted compared to what's actually going on in Africa. What's going on over in China? You got legit Christians, or followers of Christ, being beheaded now, losing their lives now, right now. You figure we're so isolated as far as what society and the media allow us to actually see what's going on until it's like in your face. It's like, whoa, this was, hey, little do you know, it's been happening. It just finally reached you. It never, like I was telling my wife the other day, I said, things don't necessarily hit home until it's you or somebody that you know that endures it, that experiences it. There was a guy saying about the this company guy. This just as an example, this company dude at her job, he's like a bigwig. He's like the owner of the company. And they were having like a Zoom meeting, and the dude was like, man, do you not know, everybody needs to take, this vaccine or whatever. And there are only 100 people that died from it, whatever. And 100 people that died versus the 12,000 people that lived, that's a good trade-off. I said, what? Wait till that's his kid. Wait till it's his mom. That's a part of that 100, Then you'll have a little bit of accountability for how you think you feel on that. Because it never hits home until it hits home. Never hits home until it hits home. But I wanted to know what you thought about that, man. Quite possible. Do you think it's possible, in these times, to where he's building us up because we need to be built up in the spirit because he already sees what's coming. Do you think it could go as far as, hey, knock on the door? Hey, where's where you got any KI? You got any NIVs? You got the. They don't care what version. They just want all the versions. Oh no. My wife. I was knocking on the door. My wife looks like, what are you doing? But or the Bible apps. You log on there. 500 service internal error. Blah blah. Like, page no longer exists. You've been reported. Like, it's like, what do you think about that, man? It was in my spirit, so let me know, man. Love you. Love what you're doing, man. Man, fire. Love being in the midst of learning with y'all, man. And it's better than any church that I grew up in. Seriously. So much love to you, man. Look forward to your next live, and forward to your messages, man. I mean, seriously, been listening to them back to back, the ones you've been dropping. So. Talk to you soon, man. Peace.